In recognition of his 5 decades of work this week, Charlton Heston received France's highest honor. Yeah, that's right. They bathed for him. Well, let's see. Should I be brassy tonight or debonair? So many questions confront me on a day-to-day level here in narcissist land. Let's see what's new in the world this week. President Clinton back at the White House, but his daily schedule is going to be in flux, obviously due to his knee injury. Pretty bad injury. Where do you think a presidential limo with handicap plates gets to park, huh? How close to the mall does that get you? Russian President Boris Yeltsin left Moscow earlier this week to prepare for his summit with President Clinton in Helsinki. Yeltsin always leaves a little early to get all the lemons and limes cut for the drinks, and a new telephone poll indicates that 76% of the residents of Montgomery, Alabama, believe their public schools are underfunded, while 24% wanted to know if the person on the other end of the phone was a Jew. Huh? Took you right off the payoff land? Hung a deep left. Los Angeles record company says it will soon be releasing a CD featuring jazz compositions by Dr. Jack Kevorkian, who plays flute as part of a quartet. Kevorkian says you'll be able to find a CD in music stores under his performing name, Death Row Tull. Staples and Office Depot currently attempting to merge into one big superstore. So if you're into office supplies and paper and stuff, man, you gotta be psyched. You can get any color Post-it you want. The American Medical Association issued guidelines Monday saying doctors should feel free to discuss marijuana with patients and even tell them when it might help their conditions, like when they're going to see a movie with a lot of special effects. And, here's a big story of the week. On the same night that Ellen DeGeneres' character reveals she is a lesbian on her sitcom, she will reveal her own sexuality on ABC's Primetime Live. So I guess everybody should tune in to see whether she goes down on Sam Donaldson or Diane Sawyer. And, come on. She makes no bones about her sexuality. I'm just setting them up on the tee. You're knocking. 5 farmers in India are threatening to commit suicide after their crops were destroyed to build a stage for an upcoming Yanni concert. If they think they want to kill themselves now, just wait until they hear the concert. Okay? Activist Gloria Steinem is going to be at Monday's Academy Awards to protest the nominations for The People vs. Larry Flynt, which she feels glorifies pornography and denigrates women. I hope she wears something hot. The Oscars again, already, boy. Imagine being an actress, huh? You go to acting classes, you participate in some spectacularly embarrassing scene work with some kid from Hermosa Beach named Chaz, who's presently valet parking at Tommy Tang's, but who eventually wants to do a one-man salute to Liv Ullmann at halftime of the Clipper games. And you finally break through Hollywood's notorious glass ceiling. You get nominated for the highest award your craft can bestow. But if you're wearing the wrong color gown, you got Joan Rivers' kid sticking her finger down her throat after you walk through the fucking press line. You know, Joan Rivers telling Lauren Bacall her dress is all wrong is like Carrot Top telling Lenny Bruce he needs to get an edge, okay? Now, Now, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but at this point, fashion has been declared dead more times than a narcoleptic Jason Voorhees. Yet, every season, it manages to resurrect itself one more time to lurch down the runway in all of its irrelevant splendor. People have been obsessed with fashion ever since the Garden of Eden, when Eve said to Adam, "You know, the fig leaf you have on is so last season." Fashion is the way humans provide what nature didn't. It's our plumage, our fur, our scales. The #1 reason people like to look good is to attract a mate. Now, since our maker, who, by the way, designs for the house of God, did not provide us with fancy tail feathers or a bulging throat sack or that weird red thing that hangs out of a baboon's ass, since he didn't provide us with any of those, we wear clothing. Now, during prehistoric times, everybody wore the same thing every day. I mean, look at Wilma Flintstone. She's always sporting that same tight, short skirt with that shredded zigzag cut 3 inches above her knee. Oh, you knew she had a pair of gams there. And she wasn't afraid to let you know. Thighs like a vice, okay? So what's she doing staying home and just raising the family? You know she was frustrated. Someone like Wilma needed more. And there's Fred stuffing his fat fuck face and not giving her the attention she needed, and might I add, deserved. Yeah, while you were busy fantasizing about Ginger or Marcia Brady, I spotted the woman who really needed it. Needed it from me, Wilma. And maybe Betty would walk in on us and let out that nervous giggle when she saw my massive Thickosaurus, and you know, Kazoo is hovering over us with some prehistoric Martian equivalent of a camcorder, making some sick Paleolithic Bob Crane film that he can take back to his home planet for parties and such. And where was I? Now, the problem here is that I don't have a clue as to the meaning of contemporary fashion. In fact, I thought pret-a-porter was where French construction workers went to the bathroom, but it appears to me that the fashion industry preys on our diametrically opposed needs to be different while at the same time fitting in. Fashion is commerce built on envy. You know why fashion magazines are always thicker than the Tokyo Donley directory? Because they're full of ads that are trying to make you think that if you use this raspberry kiwi placenta thigh cream, your life is going to change. And articles that are trying to make you believe that if you wear this Dolce & Gabbana dress, you're going to look just like the 95-pound heroin addict that's modeling, okay? I mean, fashion is brilliant from the seller's point of view. They tell you this is what you must buy to fit in, to be one of the in people. Then a few months later, they tell you what you bought is now out and you're an asshole. You're uncool, and now you have to buy this to fit in. The fashion industry, like the cigarette industry, actually creates both the supply and the demand. Now, men seem less susceptible to this sort of arrogance because, as far as fashion is concerned, men are more out of it than Strom Thurmond on a little brown jug of NyQuil, okay? As we all know, originally men's clothing served only 2 purposes. Sure, to keep us warm, but first and foremost, clothes were invented to prevent women from seeing how small our penises were during winter. And if I'm not mistaken, ladies, yesterday was the first day of spring. Huh? Don't be afraid of it, just know it's there. Sorry, that's vintage Dana Carvey. Sorry, Carvey. If there is indeed a bottom line to this Mobius loop of parading clowns, it is to just slow down a little and look at yourself for a second. Here are some basic rules for fashion. 1, when considering whether or not to have a metal stud put through your tongue or your belly button or your genitalia, take lightning into account. 2, never wear a Budweiser cap with a Coors t-shirt. Commit! 3, hey, Levi Strauss, 501s, 505, 509s, what am I, buying pants or catching a fucking train? 4, if you walk around a mall with your baseball cap on backwards, you better be black or a catcher. 5, if you're going to murder your ex-wife and her male companion, don't wear incredibly rare designer shoes. 6, when using a magic marker to color in your ankle to cover a hole in your socks, make sure the magic marker color matches the socks. And finally, men, if you have tits, don't walk around in a tight t-shirt. It confuses the children. Folks, fashion, this clever marketing ruse in the guise of cloaking oneself against the elements, has gone on long enough. Fashion is becoming, quite frankly, unfashionable, and it's time to stop allowing yourselves to be bullied by the whims of some out-of-touch, chain-smoking European Nancy boy whose only friend is Elsa Clench. But I do understand the need to be chic, so let me offer my solution. I say we put heterosexual men in charge of fashion. Ladies, you'll never need to read Vogue magazine or do a wardrobe overhaul again. If we're in charge, here's the only outfit you'll ever need. Miniskirt, high heels, midriff. Trust me, darlings, you will be fabulous. Of course, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.